All right. How many of you have ever gotten a new toy? Have you ever gotten a toy like a new power tool, new remote-controlled car, new car? Got a new toy before, right? A lot of people here have gotten new toys. I have a new toy. Very excited about this. When I was at the VA, I worked as a hospital chaplain at the VA for a couple of years. If you didn't know that about me, I was a certified drum circle leader. Yeah, I got this new toy here. It's been a long time since I've been a drum circle. And I know all y'all don't have drums today, but that's okay, because one thing I learned as a certified drum circle instructor is that you do not need a drum to drum, because y'all have bodies. Right? Okay. So that goes for you two out there in Zoom land. You can join us. You have bodies. There is such a thing called body percussion. So I'm just going to take you through a little bit. We don't have time for me to do the whole, it would take up the whole service if I did the full teaching y'all how to drum circle thing. But we'll do a little bit today. So how I learned it was from these very cool folks at Morehead, which is a veteran-led organization that teaches veterans to drum and does drumming circles and things like that. And they taught it like this. So those of you who are musically inclined will recognize this as a quarter note. Those of you who are not musically inclined, this is great, 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 great. Okay, now can everyone drum along with me? Use your hands, you can drum on your legs, on your chest. Great, 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 great. That was very good. Okay, now we're going to do another one. This one's strawberry. Strawberry, 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 strawberry. Okay, hang on, we got to feel a little bit there. Because I saw one you were doing great. Okay. Watermelon, 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 watermelon. You guys are naturals. This is amazing. Thank you for indulging me as I play with my new toy. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start us off with a simple beat, which you can follow or you don't have to follow. You can also play around with just the percussion on your body. I can be playing grape, but you could be doing watermelon. So let's try that out right now. I'm going to play grape, but you're going to do watermelon. Okay? Grape, 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 grape. That was perfect. You guys are so good at this. Okay, so I'm just going to start out with a simple beat, and y'all can play around with the beat, and we'll just do a little bit of drumming together. Sound good? Yeah. Now that we've woken up our bodies this morning, let's everyone just take a deep breath together. Because also, part of what we do here as a community, besides wake up our bodies together, drum together, breathe together, is we make some space and some time to acknowledge those universal truths that as humans we all experience. Because, there's a lot that we control in this world. Some of us have central air conditioning, some of us drive a car, some of us forecast the weather for a living. We can perform heart surgery. Isn't that nuts when you really think about it? That you can open someone up while their heart is still beating and do surgery and close them back up. Incredible. And yet, there is still so much that we do not control. We can't control birth or death. We can't control whether or not that girl says yes or no when we ask her out on a date, or whether we'll get that job we interviewed for, or whether our favorite sports team is going to win the next match. We can't control sickness or aging. And none of us are exempt from those things, regardless of age, race, national origin, class, ability, gender identity, sexual orientation. Happens to all of us: birth and death, sickness and health, loss and gain. Though we are unique, the things that happen to us are not. And so this is a time that we lift up these things together, to acknowledge that these things happen, that they matter, that we matter, and we surrender these things to an unknown universe. So in a moment, when the music starts, I invite everyone to line up against the far wall here, come around to the front, and there's a basket here of stones, shells, pieces of sea glass. These objects were actually blessed for us by the people who came to our building dedication last fall. Each one of them held a stone or a shell or a piece of coral, and they just blessed it with just their warmth, their being here, their well wishes for us. Placed it back in the basket. So you can do that as well, and you can also take as few or as many as you need to represent whatever is on your heart today, your joys, your sorrows, your celebrations, your griefs, and you can deposit them here in our beautiful glass chalice of water. And also, if you have a personal joy or concern that you would like me to lift up to read aloud to the congregation, you can fill out one of those slips of paper there and put it in the basket, and I will read it aloud once we have finished our ritual time together. This stone is for Emmett Till and his family. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old black teenager from Chicago visiting family in Mississippi in 1955 when Carolyn Bryant, a white woman, accused him of sexually harassing her. Bryant's husband and brother-in-law then brutally lynched Emmett Till in an act of racial violence that stands out in this country's long history of racial violence, and which ultimately led to the downfall of Jim Crow laws in the South. Bryant's story has changed over the years, and her passing on Tuesday the 25th means that we will never really know now what happened on that day when Emmett Till went into her store. Whatever it was, he did not deserve what happened to him. And now, from closer to home, Karen Baggett recently lost her Molly kitty to illness. Karen had been away when Molly's health declined, but was able to be back here in time to hold Molly. Karen is grateful for the help of friends and veterinarians while she was away, and for the very special 9 years that she shared with her sweet lap cat, Molly. We're very sorry for your loss, Karen. Marilyn and Tom Cullison ask that you keep their children, Andy and Catherine, in your thoughts and prayers as they both encounter health challenges. We will indeed keep them on our hearts. And Kari and Dave ask for community blessings for their upcoming marriage or Viking union. Congratulations to Kari and Dave. I invite everyone now to please join me in the spirit of prayer. To that great spirit in the universe, we ask for patience. We ask that you remind us that not everyone, not everything is within our control. We cannot control how our children turn out. We cannot control whether or not we get that job that we interviewed for. We cannot control life and death and many, many of the things that happen in between. And that's a good thing. That can be
a good thing, because in these mysteries, in these confusions and mistakes and things that happen to us, it reminds us that there can still be miracles, that every child is a miracle, that every cloud has a silver lining, that good can come out of bad, that bad can come out of good, that we simply do not know. And that is part of what can give us hope, that we do not know, that outcomes are not always certain. And so with that, we can hold on to hope, we can remain alive to gratitude, we can remember that miracles are possible. And so even as we hold in our hearts Molly, Kitty, and Catherine, and Andy, we can also hold joy in our hearts for Kari and Dave. Because there are still joys in the world. There are still things to celebrate, even as we mourn, even as we worry about the things that pass. Amen. Blessed be. And now we sing out our little ones to the other building if they would like to have some playtime, learn a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism with a song. The lyrics are up on the slides. It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What you know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do. What I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty you love be what I do, and I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do. What we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty we love be what we do, and we don't have to do it alone. Shout out to Mark on the drums here. And now I invite everyone into a moment of restful contemplation. This time is yours to do with as you wish. You can use it for mindful meditation and focus on your breathing. You could use it for some stretching. Never stretch too much, I think. You can use it to work on your shopping list. It's just time that is yours, because in the busy tumult of our lives, it can be difficult to find time for ourselves. So Unitarian Universalism, for those of y'all who don't know, is a remarkable faith. It places a lot of faith in people. Unitarian Universalism believes that all people are inherently worthy, that we are all a gift and a blessing to this world with all of our gifts and flaws and differences and sameness. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe that we all have access to the divine. We all have access to wisdom and truth through direct lived experience, through books and teachers and prophets and movies and nature. And so Unitarian Universalist congregations govern ourselves. We don't have a pope. We don't have bishops that tell us what to do. We don't have books of dogma or creedal statements that say what we must believe. I mean, you look in the backs of the chairs, look back the chair in front of you, do you see like a scripture in there? No, there's 2 hymnals. We love music. That is a thing. The back of the gray hymnal does have readings in it, in case you didn't know that. It's cool readings. Readings from Desmond Tutu and Martin Luther King and Bible verses and Thich Nhat Hanh. So we don't have purification rituals. We don't have, like I said, dogma or creeds. What we do have are the 7 principles that we covenant to affirm and promote. And those are in the hymnal, if you want to look at them later. We write our own bylaws and our own policies. Our churches call the ministers that they think are the right fit for them. And ultimately, we are voluntary associations. We decide to come together into communities because we believe that we are better together than apart. And because we are working on the project of building beloved community, of creating heaven on earth, some might say, of creating a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And so membership in a Unitarian Universalist congregation confers upon each member ownership of that congregation. Members are what allows us to make decisions about our own communities. If we didn't have members, well, we literally would not be here. So each member has a vote and therefore has the responsibility to exercise that vote wisely. You don't have to vote. No one's going to come to your house as a member and say, well, we noticed that you didn't vote in the last annual election, so, I'm afraid we're going to have to take your membership card back. It doesn't work like that. But since, as a member, you own this congregation now, you have the right and the responsibility to make decisions about the life of the congregation. And there are some big decisions coming up. We're talking about adding an 8th principle to our existing 7 principles about creating anti-racist, anti-oppressive communities. We're talking about, did any of you notice that progress flag out in the foyer? It's above the doors to the sanctuary. We're talking about getting a flagpole, putting it outside, putting the flag outside. We're asking, who do you want to be on the search committee for the new minister at the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship to start in 2024? It is members who have the privilege and responsibility of voting on these matters at the annual meeting and at other times. And everyone who commits to this responsibility gets the same vote as everyone else. It doesn't matter if you pledge $20,000 or $20 or nothing at all. It doesn't matter if you've been a Unitarian Universalist for 60 years or 60 days. It doesn't matter what age, color, class, sexual orientation, gender identity, sex, ability, or national origin you are, as long as you've decided to become a member, as long as you've decided to commit to this responsibility, you get a vote that is the same weight as everyone else's vote. No gerrymandering here. This reflects our belief that none of us is better or worse than anyone else. We all have inherent worth and dignity, and therefore everyone's vote matters the same amount. And to get that vote, to be part of this community and part of the decision-making process, All you have to do is choose to be part of this community and commit to it. No belief test, no purity test, no education requirement, no pledge requirement. You just have to make the choice to commit and enter into the covenant. The covenant is in the order of service, which is the promise for how we will behave toward one another. So we are grateful to our newest members, Kai and Wes, hello, for choosing to be members of this community, for joining in our quest to build beloved community and transform ourselves, and in the process, transform the world. And so I'd like to welcome Kai Hostmark and Wes Whitehurst up to the chancel. And when I call you forward, I'll introduce you to the congregation. I have short bios here, and you'll receive a small gift of appreciation. I think Nan is here to be my Vanna White. Do we still know who Vanna White is?
We will know as long as we do the auction and Miriam is here.
So in each gift bag is a welcome primer to Unitarian Universalism. It's the little blue book here. It has readings and short essays. A magnet. Do we have the magnets?
We do. Saying,
So these magnets say, giving life the shape of justice. They're green, perfect for your refrigerator at home if it's not already covered in magnets. You can make space for this one. It's not that big. And a beautiful new lanyard for your name tag, handmade by members of this congregation. So Kai, will you please receive your gift? Right. Kai was born in Maryland, but grew up in Morehead City. She graduated from West Carteret High School and plans to pursue a career in engineering. She currently works at Crystal Coast Gymnastics and loves video games, anime, cooking, and is a commission-based digital artist as she pursues various crafts in addition to her artwork. Welcome, Kai. And now, Wes, please receive your gift. Wes also attended West Carteret High, where he played trumpet in the marching band. He achieved his Eagle Scout Award while in high school, involving the Maritime Museum Boathouse Walking Trail in Beaufort. Wes will hopefully be graduating with his AA soon from Carteret Community College and plans to become an author. Welcome, Wes. And now, will the congregation please read the words that are on the slide? We welcome you, new members. We covenant to comfort you in times of sorrow and challenge you to grow in times of plenty. We hope that you will do the same for us. We pledge to accompany you in your journey for as long as we are together. Now, new members, we have some words to read to. Okay, the congregation does not read this part, but the words will be up there just so that you know what they're saying. And now, new members, will you please read the words that you've been given? We are glad to be able to join the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship and pledge to abide by the covenant of this congregation. We will do our best to bring our full, authentic selves to this place and challenge this community to grow alongside us. Welcome, new members! You may now return to your seats, and I invite everyone to stand as they are willing and able for our next hymn, 116, I'm on my way.
I'm
And now Riley Lewis from the Carolina Coastal River Watch is here to tell us about the work that they do.
Good morning, everybody. Well, thank y'all for having me so much and for the opportunity to come talk about what we do. So my organization is Coastal Carolina River Watch. We're a 2 crew of mighty work, so I'm half of it. And so my title is the White Oak Water Keeper. We aim to protect the quality of water and quality of life within coastal North Carolina. And I do this through boots on the ground advocacy, research, outreach, throughout the White Oak River Basin. And so we are in the White Oak River Basin right now, and this spans pretty much from Topsail all the way up through Cedar Island. So it's a series of beautiful rivers, beautiful coastlines, and beautiful people who live there, and we work really hard to make sure everyone is able to access clean water and enjoy it to its fullest. And so thank you again for having me. Your donations today are going to help us with multiple types of programming, and some of those projects include our Water Quality for Fisheries program, where we work with commercial and recreational fishers to identify top water quality concerns that we use to prioritize our work. The Advocacy Working Group, which I started when I joined about 9 months ago, and it's to regularly meet with community members where they can share water quality concerns, share resources, and support each other fighting for water quality within their own communities. We also have our Marine Debris Symposium that we hold every October. I'll definitely let y'all know when that's coming up, and we have plans. It's a beautiful way to bring everyone doing research on plastics, microplastics, any other marine debris together to get everyone updated and encourage some movement on that front. And then I was going to talk about another project. Our Pure Farms, Pure Waters project is us talking about how industrial agriculture and big factory farms are fairly damaging to our waters, and we want to be able to help them put in best practices. That way we can be protecting our waters, eating well, and then we also want to highlight our local sustainable farms that are within our own communities. Most of our neighbors know our farmers, and so it's really important to be highlighting all the work that they do and how much they take water quality and the environment into consideration. I hope y'all are able to donate to us, become members. We don't email y'all too often, so let me know if you want to join. I will have business cards at the end if y'all want to take one. But I am here to be a resource for y'all and to help everyone have clean and fresh water. So thank you.
So the entirety of today's offering plate is going to Carolina Coastal River Watch. You just heard about the good work that they're doing, so please give generously. I invite the greeters to please come forward to collect the offering. I now invite everyone to please join in blessing today's offering with hymn number 402 from You I Receive. We will sing it twice through. receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. And now, Caroline Dominguez is one of our newer members who joined us at last year's new member ceremony and is going to lead us in our unison chalice extinguishing.
Good morning. Please join me in reading the words on the screen behind me as we extinguish our flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And Mom, I'll try to do this one in Spanish. And now in Español. Extinguíamos esta llama, pero no la luz de verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estamos juntos otra vez. We now invite everyone to rise as they are willing or able for our closing hymn, 1021 in the Teal hymnal. Lean on me.
Well, I mean, you can sit down. You don't have to remain sitting for this part. We'll work with it. But as this congregation, we typically close out our services by holding hands. Now, if that is very weird for you, you do not have to do that. Just make it clear that you don't want to hold hands, so we can touch elbows or put a hand on the shoulder. Okay, so usually at this point, we're making some kind of strange shape. All right, friends. Now, if you feel comfortable, because direct eye contact can also be very nerve-wracking for some people, but if you feel comfortable, you can make eye contact with someone across from you and think to yourselves and to the other person that we are part of the same community here. So when we are in times of need, let us indeed call upon each other. You need a friend, you can always lean on me. Go in peace. Also, before you run off, Tom Cullison does actually have an announcement for us. But go in peace after the announcement. Keep going where you're at. Go, Tom, go. Get to the microphone.
Okay. We have needs here. This is a beautiful beautiful sanctuary, isn't it? A beautiful building. It took us, 5 years to get this together. And it took a lot of very good leadership from members of this congregation to get there. I'm representing the nominating committee, and we are in need, brother and sister and sibling, of a treasurer to follow in the footsteps of Joellen and Dave, who did yeoman's work to get this place together. The good news is that it will be a much easier job than it has been in the past due to many changes we've made in our accounting systems and our personnel systems and so on. And the fact that we don't have to raise almost $1 million again to build a building like this. But if we don't have continuing strong leadership in the treasurer position, we will suffer, and we will not have what we've had before. So myself, Mark Cooper, Marion Green represent the nominating committee. If you have the skills and the desire to serve our community and our congregation as a treasurer, please see one of us. We will reach out to many of you, which we've already done, seeking someone to fill this very, very important position. Joellen and Dave have reassured all of us that they will continue on the Finance Committee to lend support to whoever represents us as the treasurer on the board. Thank you very much for your consideration.
also, the potluck is on. We're just going to have it here because the weather outside's looking nasty. So stick around for a potluck.